Okay. Can y'all hear me okay on Zoom? All right. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Welcome. It's March 22nd. It's 5:35. We'll go ahead and get started. Ashlyn will do roll call as we go. We do not have the minutes from last week, so we will approve for 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, because we won't have. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Moving on to open forum. Is anybody here for open forum? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to speakers podium. As you can see, I have 3 different guests for us this evening. Dr. Sarah Sass, the Faculty Senate President, Brista Hurst-Kent, the Staff Senate President, and Leah Velarde, Director of Career Success. Our first 2 guests, I'm going to invite up together, if that's okay with y'all. All right. Y'all give Dr. Sass and Brista a round of applause. Oh, yeah. Psychology students, if we could line up a round of applause for Dr. Sass. All right. Okay. So Dr. Sass and Brista and I have worked together quite a bit this year, being the 3 presidents of stakeholders on campus. So I invited them to come speak tonight to give an overview of the structure of their organizations, because it varies quite a bit from what we do, as well as some of the topics that they've been focused on in their senates, because I think it's interesting for us to be able to compare what faculty are focused on, what staff are focused on, compared to what we as students have been speaking about this year. So I will pass the mics off to them and we will get started. All right, here you go.
Okay, well, hello, everybody. First of all, I'm super impressed. You meet weekly. Like, that is, wow, that's a lot of meetings. And I was really intimidated when I saw that the meeting was from 5:30 to 8:30. I was like, wow, you all meet 3 hours every week. But I'm just really impressed with SGA and the things you've been up to, at least what I know from your very impressive president, Casey Jennings. So yeah, in terms of the structure of Faculty Senate, basically we have now with the merger, we have 8 different colleges, and that's going to be changing because we're creating a new College of Health Professions and the medical school's coming. So the way we seem to be moving is that we'll have like a health affairs kind of section within Senate, as well as the more traditional main campus sections, although there's a lot of overlap. So it's kind of an artificial division. But we have, and actually it's funny that this is the topic, because right now I'm literally helping rewrite the HOP to accommodate a different structure for our Senate. But the goal is to have 3 senators for every college, and then to have, not to have a false distinction between the health science campus, which is currently written in our HOP, and the rest of campus. So currently, like when we were writing this last year and things were still very much in flux, we separated them, but now we're like, no, that makes no sense. We have 8 colleges. We're gonna have 3 senators per college. Also, the health center campus had 2-year terms instead of 3-year terms, and we're gonna make them all 3-year terms. I don't know if that's the level of detail you wanted, but that's where I wanted to go with it, because that's what we're literally talking about. How are you all structured in terms of?
So we have a pretty unique structure, annual terms, 2 senators per residence hall, 2 senators per classification, 3 senators per college, and 2 per distance campus. So the Health Science Center campus, Palestine, Longview, and Houston.
Okay. And how are you defining, like, have you brought in the health science campus, or is that something they don't have a lot of undergraduates?
Correct.
But they do have some graduate students, and I understand this is mixed grad and undergrad.
Okay. Yes. We don't currently have any representatives from that campus. I think we do actually have a person running in our upcoming election. But, you know, a lot of our Zoom attendees are from the Houston campus. And so we do manage to get pretty good representation in that area. It's different though. It's harder to recruit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious because those are some of the issues we're facing. And I know staff, do you want to talk about staff Senate organization?
Yeah. So I'll talk about that real quick. So we have 15 districts, and our districts are comprised of normally a college, and then a support, like a support department. We don't we tried to keep the colleges separate in each of the districts, because we know that each one of the colleges has something that's a little bit more distinct about them, and trying to combine colleges into a district would be a little bit more complicated. So this last year we added 2 new districts because in order to represent the 2 purely academic departments or schools at the Health Science Center. And so we had originally taken on trying to combine their employee advisory council with our staff advisory council, but and it took us about a year to come to the decision that it wasn't going to make a lot of sense for us to combine with them, because the strictly clinical side is so very different from us, and we didn't feel like we didn't want to tell lies, right? We didn't want to say we're going to represent you, we're here to represent you, when that was not something that we felt like we would be able to do, because it's just so different on the healthcare clinical side. And so we once we made that determination, we went back to the upper administration and told them that, and helped them realize why they thought that had been important, and helped them understand that what we wanted, what we intended to do, that this was the better solution for what we intended to do, and we got their support. So so that was important. They will continue to maintain their employee advisory council over there, and they are prepared to do a good job of representing their people there now. So we took on the purely academic. So anybody who touches anything that's clinical is considered clinical. So we only brought on purely academic. And so we have 2 senators from each district. That's new. We used to have 1 representative and 1 alternate, but typically the people who got elected as alternate were not as engaged. And so we thought that if we upped the expectation, that we would see a positive response to that, and we have. Everybody is very engaged. We actually did the opposite thing of what Faculty Senate is doing. We went from 3-year terms to 2-year terms, and the reason that we did that was because we want to give space to mix it up. You know, give people the opportunity to serve and not get burned out, because in staff, a lot of times the people who want to serve are the people who keep serving on every single thing that comes up, and it's really easy to start to get bogged down with all of the things that you want to do to be of service to the university. So we just want to give people the space to be able to do that. They can still run for 3 terms, so they can still have 6 years worth of service as a senator, but they don't have to. And used to, it was 2 3-year terms that you could run for. So that's how we are structured, and we hope that will work for as long as it serves the university. And when it doesn't, then the people in the future can change that.
Yeah. I think some of them have been shared, like SGA and Staff Senate and Faculty Senate with wellness initiatives that will help everybody. And we want input from students in particular. And that's one thing. I think another thing that touches students and faculty and staff is childcare. And so having some childcare accessible on campus, I think is important. And I think it's a student success issue too. I've had students come to my class with their baby because there's nowhere to bring a sick baby. And so we've definitely had that issue. Communication across campuses has been a big one for us this year. IT has been, I'm not gonna cast dispersions or anything, but that's actually something, it's a new role for me, is to be on an IT advisory committee. So tell Casey and Casey tell me from the student side, expect a survey to come out, but also please let me know what your pain points are with respect to IT. President Calhoun is really trying to do a good job fixing IT issues on our campus. And one of the issues that we have, and it's not our IT's fault, is like people on the health campus don't get email communications that they're supposed to be getting that are coming from us. And it's really frustrating. And some of the people that teach that are technically defined as clinical over there aren't getting things like student assignments and classes and core communications. And so that's been a pain point that we've been working on all year. It isn't fixed, but I think it's closer. And then, COVID and its impact on students and faculty, and also the silver linings of what do we want to see moving forward. And I know, Casey, you've talked about this at system level as well, that, Archie Holmes is talking to you about what do we want to keep from the pandemic? How can we meet your needs? And also how can faculty sort of gear up to meet those needs if they're not used to teaching in online formats? And so those are some of the issues we've been talking about. Other ones, I don't want to bore you to death, but like we've been trying to streamline IRB processes and research for some of you who are involved in research. Salary compression is a big one. And there was a salary survey done, and President Calhoun has committed to doing a 3% equity bump for staff and faculty. I honestly think we haven't seen the survey yet, but we're following up with Cindy in HR about this, because I think it's worse on the staff side than it is on the faculty side, but it is an issue. We're about 7% underpaid on our campus. So those are just some of the things I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, but the staff has been really stuck on getting the results from the Evergreen survey and kind of seeing how that was all going to work out. And of course, the president presented last Thursday, and so we started towards getting more information about that. And we'll probably continue. We're going to look at the report itself, and then we'll continue to have conversations and make sure that that everybody feels like that is resolved, or if they don't feel like that's resolved, that we will develop something to help people feel like it's resolved, or make a path for people to be able to continue to feel like they can talk about that stuff, because it is a taboo topic a lot of times for us to talk about how much we're paid, or and so we just want people to feel like they're being heard, and we want to give them a path to be heard and listened to and responded to, which I know you guys are all very familiar with that whole path. And we're super excited about the childcare thing. It had been in conversations for a long time and kind of disappeared, and then we brought it back up. And during the wellness initiative luncheon get together thing that we did, immediately after hearing Dr. Sass talk about it, Dr. Calhoun was like, this is something we want to make a priority, and immediately got on it. And so that it was really amazing to watch that get taken up that quickly, and to watch people start taking action on it and start to see progress. I've never seen anything like it in my entire career. So that was really cool.
Could I ask?
Yes.
One quick thing to add there is that actually the childcare stuff there was a task force on it that included staff senate. And I forgot to say that. And that's important because I think, you know, SGA can work collaboratively with other bodies on campus, and, you know, your terms are only 1 year. So that makes it a little more challenging to hand things down over the years. But one of the advantages that I think we have with longer terms is that we can work together on projects and things actually happen. So Dr. Calhoun is able to say, yes, let's do something with childcare, but there were years of work that went into that proposal.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we've been, you know, we have a lot of stuff going on with DEI. We've been talking about that a lot. There's groups springing up on campus to try to coordinate our DEI efforts, which I'm really excited about. And our not executive leadership team, but our leadership team is really excited about to see what's going to happen with that being a focus. And so the other thing that I really just wanted to say to you guys is that it has been, and I know Dr. Sass spoke to it, that it has been an incredible year getting to have this channel of communication open in all of these directions, because we've never had this before. And last year, you know, we would the chair would sometimes have conversations with the president of the staff or of the faculty senate, but not the way that we have, not the way that we've been intentional about making sure that we're having conversations with each other. And I just want to charge you guys to continue to fight for that. As long as you're serving on SGA, make sure that your president has those meetings with the staff senate president and has those meetings with the faculty senate president, and don't let that fall off. And it might be complicated. I mean, we reschedule stuff. My goodness, our calendars are crazy, and we have to reschedule things. But you have to commit yourself to that because it has changed the way that I think about things. You know, I'm really excited that Casey invited us to midnight breakfast tomorrow. Not just because I love breakfast, but also because I definitely had a moment where I felt things shift for me in the last few months, where I've worked for the university for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in November. And y'all have always just been students to me. Students. And I work in a technology support role, so I'm not student facing, right? I do a lot of things in support of you guys, but y'all are just an amalgamation of students to me. And over the past, and please forgive me if I tear up while I'm saying this, but over the last couple of months watching Casey, she is a person to me now. And I think it's important for the staff to see the people that y'all are. And I think that we will fight harder to make things happen for y'all when y'all are people to us and not just students. And I don't know that if it's been the same experience for Dr. Sass, because she is student facing as a professor. So I'm sure that it's easier for the faculty to stay a little bit more centered on that, but for the staff, sometimes it's not as tangible. And so that's why I really do want to charge y'all with making sure that you continue to make yourselves visible to the staff senate, because it's important. It's important for us to think about y'all, not students, but you humans, when we make decisions and when we fight for things and when we try to make stuff happen. And so that's why I really encourage people in the staff senate to join you guys for midnight breakfast tomorrow, because I think that's where it starts, is us coming to those kinds of events and talking to you guys. So just wanted to make sure that I place that in your hearts and make sure it stays there. Okay. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about anything else.
So I don't want to take up too much, but do you have any questions, or is there any questions from anybody? Okay. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I have a quick question. So I know that you said Casey has meetings with you guys. What are other ways that we could get engaged and involved with the staff? Like, do they have like offices or things that they do that we should know about? Or,
You know, I mean, we as staff senate, I mean, it's they are, yeah, we're open. Yeah, it's on Zoom. We haven't gone in person yet. Thank you. Yeah, we haven't gone in person yet. We have been serving on the COVID response team during this whole year, and it makes that stuff really real to us. And so we have continued to try to keep things remote, and having things remote for staff senate also means that more people are going to attend, because it's really hard in when you're in everything. It's really hard to stop what you're working on when you know you have things that you're working on and turn and focus on this other thing. And especially if you have to leave your office, it makes the engagement less. And so being on Zoom has actually made our engagement a lot higher. So people have pushed on me a little bit, trying to get me to make something happen in person. I don't know. I may leave that for my predecessor to pull that trigger. It works too well for me. I also like to be able to have my notes up on the screen while I'm running the meeting. So that might be part of my personal preference, but yeah. So, but we use the same link every month. And we typically meet on the third Wednesday of each month from 3 to 4 p.m. This month are meeting tomorrow because there were a lot of people who were involved in the SEC on-site visit, and we didn't want to load people up too much this month. So yeah, but we would love to have you guys there. I can give you the link. You have the link. You're welcome to share that. Awesome. We just talk. I mean, I talk a lot. And then when we get to the end of me talking a lot, then we have open forum, and we've got a lot of people who just say the stuff. They say the stuff, and sometimes we respond to it in the meeting. Sometimes we take notes and we come back to them with it. But we want that channel of communication open, and we don't ever want it to be false. We always want it to be real, because if you're not doing it for real, then why are you even doing it? So, yeah. So that we would love to have you guys. Please feel free to join us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions? Yeah, Justin.
So this one isn't like really more so like too specific, but it's just because I have heard this being mentioned a few times from fellow students that I have asked around and from other departments in the school. Just more so if there's like maybe a general timeline towards like the childcare situation, because I have heard that brought up a few times. So I was wondering if there was any solid timeline on that.
President Calhoun said a year. So that's the first timeline I've heard ever. Yeah, so I'm hopeful. And honestly, so the University Academy, which is that school across the street from us, essentially on Old Omen, next to the Ornelas Center, that school may be a site for the daycare. And so they've already got the structure in place. The dean of my college, Wes Hickey, has already set up the daycare in his previous life as an educator. And so he is going to be instrumental in that as well. So it's kind of like the pieces all came together really well for it to just happen. They were already going to be buying more school space because they were running out of space because they expanded grades and different things like that. So it's really exciting, the timing. So yeah, that's a good question. I also want to piggyback on what Brista said. Is one of the things that I really like, because I didn't have a president-elect year. I just kind of jumped into the president role because the person who was president-elect had to step down. And so it was so great when Casey, like over the summer, when I'm just trying to figure things out, was like, hey, let's get on each other's calendars every month. It was so great. And that time that I've had with you has been really valuable in understanding what y'all are working for and what student needs might go to the wayside. Faculty are aware, but not campus wide. Like I know psychology maybe a little bit better than I would know. I'd have no idea what's going on in business. So I know the faculty end side, but not the student side. So I do think it's important to keep those lines of communication open every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to do the thing that they do on Twitter when something goes viral. And I'm going to hijack y'all for just 1 second because I work for the Office of Student Business Services, and we are the department that is also the card office. So your student ID cards, which we call the P2 card, that is handled within our office. And during the last year, we have gone live with mobile credential, and so what mobile credential is if you can use your cell phone. It works for all iPhones and Android devices that have Google Pay, and you are able to download an app and then provision your student ID card there. And it's there, your mobile P2 card. It has your picture on it, so you can display it as an identification. And it also works if you live on campus. You can put it. You can use it at food service locations and also for housing, like for your door access. And then as long as your cell phone's with you, you don't have to worry about where your P2 card is. So it's been really fantastic for me. I've been trying to get this going for 4 years. I've been working on this, and we finally made it happen. So it has been super exciting, and I would love it if you guys would get excited about it and encourage your peers to get excited about it, because it's also very, I can't think of the word, I lost the word, but the word that, when we don't have to have cards, we don't have to have physical cards anymore. We don't have to have printers and ink, and it's a lot more sustainable. That's the word I'm looking for, sustainable. There we go, better for the environment. So if, just consider doing that. The instructions and frequently asked questions are available at www.uttyler.edu/P2 card. So after you provision the card, it'll be in your wallet. And my one thing that I wanted to make sure that you knew is that if you ever switch devices, just make sure that you deauthorize your card on your old phone before you sell it or give it away, and then move it to your new phone. So there's that. And then the other thing that I wanted to say real quick is that we also are the ones that I'm also the one that did all of the work for mobile ordering. So it's really successful at Chick-fil-A. It's been really fantastic. We're working on making it work better at the Met and in the C-store. And we're getting ready to launch mobile ordering at Einstein Brothers, hopefully before you guys end the spring term. So just keep a lookout for that. And if you have any questions, the cashiers are available at the One Stop Services Center. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Casey, thanks for letting us come.
Thank you. As they both alluded to, our set meetings once a month have been invaluable to the things we've been trying to accomplish. I know on the student side, being able to put a unified force forward on different initiatives, including the wellness initiative, that has moved so quickly because when all 3 stakeholder groups are behind something, it really means something. Not that our voice is, unimportant. It's just valuable when all 3 of us can stand up at the front of a room and say we together are united in pushing for this for our campus. So I definitely appreciate the work of both of these fantastic ladies. It's been an honor working with both of you. So can we just give them one more round of applause? Fantastic. Okay. And then on speaker's podium, we also have Leah Velarde, the Director of Career Success. She's here to talk to us tonight about some opportunities for collaboration with student government. If any of you, hopefully all of you, have used the services of the Career Success Office, they have some fantastic programming, and we as student government leadership have been talking about ways that we could potentially collaborate with Leah and her team to promote the things that they have going on. So I know events committee, you guys have been talking about some ideas. Leah, if you want to just kind of give us an overview of what's going on in your office right now, and then we can open the floor to brainstorm.
Perfect. So I'm Leah. It's super nice to meet you. I know I've seen a lot of you guys around, and I really appreciate that. More than you know, because I don't say many years ago, a year ago, I was just a career success coach. So I got to spend lots of times with students, but now I sit in my office a lot and I don't get to spend a lot of time with you guys, but I love to see you guys around campus. So career success, just in case you haven't visited your career success coach, this is a great semester to go visit them. If you ever, now I'm just going to give you a little bit of overview just in case about career success. If you're ever in the need of a summer job, if you're ever in need of an internship, if you ever just want one more person to look at your resume, if you ever just want one more person to practice interviewing with you, then that is what your career success coach is for. I mean, I always tell everyone, take advantage of us. All of our career success coaches love you guys to death, and they just wait. That's what they live for, is to help you. And they want you to take your next step and everything like that. So just know that it's something we really enjoy. So come and see us, and don't wait. Like a lot of people. So I'm hoping I'm speaking to the choir here that you guys have already gone, but I want you to make sure you tell other people. Don't wait until you get ready to graduate. They can help you long before then. And I highly suggest you go long before you're getting ready to graduate, just because they can get you ready. So when you're getting ready to graduate, it's not like, oh, I don't have a job yet. You guys would be surprised how many students will either come like the day before they graduate to their coach or try to get into their coach. Or the day of. We've had people knocking on our door the day of, like, uh-oh, I don't have a job. I'm graduating. So don't be one of those people. I know you guys aren't those people, but you know what I mean? Take advantage of us. Okay. So what do we have going on? Most of our events, we actually, like all of our career fairs and stuff like that, we've already had this semester. We only have one more career fair this semester. It's for College of Education and Psychology. And actually, we're adding the College of Arts and Sciences to that, and that's April 19th. So that one's still, take advantage of our career fairs. Even if you're not a senior, even if you're not necessarily looking for a job, career fairs are so much more than that too. They are an opportunity just to get to know some recruiters and things like that, because the key is, sorry, I do get carried away talking about career stuff. The key is getting to know those employers. If you so say your sophomore year, you go to some random career fair and you start talking to an employer and you introduce yourself to an employer, maybe at your dream job that you want one day. And guess what? If you go back the next semester and then the next semester, and guess what? The recruiter is going to get to know you because they're like, man, that person really wants to work for us. So when it's time to actually hand them your resume, then you have an opportunity. They'll be like, you'll be so much more to them than just a piece of paper. You'll actually be a name and a person to them. And if I'm looking to hire somebody, it's a total different world to actually know who it was and know that somebody was interested. So go to our career fair. So that's coming up. We do have a career workshop. Oh, I know what it's on. I just can't remember the date, but it's in a couple of weeks in the UC. I will tell you, all of our events are an Engage and they're in a Handshake. So you can check either place out. You can see all of our events coming up. We will have some workshops this summer too. We're just working on those. You can even look. Oh, I know what's this week. That's really important. And now that you put that homecoming thing up, we are having the Souls College of Business we're having a professional panel over in COB 180 on Thursday at 12:30. And that one is, yes. So that's the professional panel Thursday it's 12:30. 12:15, you can come and get pizza, but that panel starts at 12:30. We have 6 employers. Great people. I don't know if they're even listed on there, and I don't have the complete list of them, but make sure you show up. It's a good thing. It's another way to get to know employers and just get a little bit of variety and learn more things about them. So yeah, so there they are. They'll be, there's a list of them right there on there. So yeah, so take advantage of that, and there'll be a little bit of networking right after too with the employer. So that's all I'll share with my career passion and events. I will spare you guys. So tell me, I would love to hear. So I brought my notebook because I want to hear what you guys have, like some great ideas for us. We're always looking for ideas that we want to, at the end of the day, obviously we're here for you guys. So we want to hear what you're interested in us maybe offering, or things like, hey, maybe I heard you did this, but I missed it, or something like that. So share away.
I know for me,
Okay.
more opportunities for mock interviews. That was super helpful. The College of Business does a great job with that, but College of Arts and Sciences, I haven't found many opportunities for things like that. So I guess more widespread availability for things like that.
That is a great thing. So just know that is one of the types of appointments that you can have with your career success coach too, because mock interviews, I'm telling you, a lot of times people go have interviews and then they'll be like, whoops, I probably should have done a mock interview first, and then they'll come back to us. So take advantage of, yes, I know College of Business is great, but your career success coach in any of your colleges, they are ready to give you mock interviews and things like that. So take advantage of those mock interviews. So good. I'll remember that. Maybe we'll try to think of some different ways that we can offer those.
I'm not sure if we used to do it or not, but do we have some sort of like dress for success event where we get to kind of like have people come, like a panel come maybe, and they get to like kind of display, you know, how you might dress up for one interview versus another, or
so
something like that?
Yeah, that is a great thing. We have done dress for success workshops in the past. I don't think we did not have one this semester. I can't remember if we did last semester, but we do try to. So we try to give like random, like, because there's a billion things that we could talk about. You know, that's a hard thing for us to try to narrow it down. And dress for your success is one of the ones that we usually do in our workshops, but I know we didn't do it this semester, or maybe not. So we can definitely bring that one back out and do it. Perfect. Thank you.
Just piggybacking off of that, have you thought about doing like a professional like closet wardrobe type thing where people can rent for interviews and that kind of thing, so that they're not having to buy like stuff a lot because it's quite expensive?
Yes. Another great question. Actually, I have, personally, I have within actually the last month or two. Don't quote me on this. Okay. When I mentioned it to somebody, I don't remember who it was. Somebody on campus told me that the Souls College of Business maybe was possibly doing one. I don't know any details about that, but when I brought it up to somebody, they told me that. I don't know the details to theirs, but yes, it's to me, because everything's so expensive these days, you know, and you do want to look professional because you want to get the job. So yeah, I'll definitely look into it a little bit more since you mentioned it. Josh?
Come on up. Yeah, there's like a line where you can't hear.
So to kind of help answer that question a little bit, we Souls has explored that option as well. Dr. Carrie Camp has been one of the advocates for helping get that going a few years ago, before the pandemic started. The Patriot Pantry, we do have a few items. The challenge with our pantry is we don't have enough space. We barely have enough space for the food. And so to expand into a food, or to a closet, closed closet, that is something that we'd love to do. But I think for both of our areas, we're very tight on space. Until we can renovate the student center, it's going to be a while before we would love to do that. It's just space is a challenge, because when you get into interview close, you're going to have a lot of different options to select from because everybody has different sizes. So one of the things that Career Success has done really well the last several years is the JCPenney Suit Up event, which helps, work with JCPenney to provide it at a little bit at a more affordable rate to where students could go and purchase interview clothes that they can keep for interviews.
Yes, thank you, Josh. Yes, absolutely. So definitely take advantage of those JCPenney events too. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So I always get this, just to let you guys know, I always get the statistics back as far as how many. So the last couple of semesters, it's obviously been virtual. So you tech, just in case you haven't done it. So next semester when we do it again, because we love to do it, it won't be in the summer, but in the fall, you text, UT Tyler to whatever number it is to get your coupon. We actually, like UT Tyler, the last 2 semesters, I know this semester we were the top 7, like as far as codes requested of all the universities in the United States that work with JCPenney. So like, I know there are students that use it and take advantage of it. So yay, that was awesome.
I use it. I got a full suit and heels for about $100, which is fantastic deal.
True. I mean, and you can't, once you have like a good suit or some really nice clothes, I mean, they can last you a long time if you have a good clothes. Yeah.
I think the closet's a good idea, but what about vamping up and doing like a clothing drive specifically for business clothes for those? Because the suit up sometimes still can be out of certain students' budgets. And then having the ability of having a nice set of pants and that ability to have that one that they can keep.
Right. So when you say clothing drive, give me a little bit more of like what you're thinking that would look like.
Specifically business clothing drive, because I've known certain other schools to do that. And they specifically did it with their College of Business. But I was thinking like across the board, since interviews, you want to dress nice. So having nice clothes that can be donated and they can hold on to. And if they want to, they can donate it and give back, maybe incorporating alumni to help out with something like that. Just
yeah, no, that's a great thought. So it wouldn't be a closet that we had to keep. We get very nice clothes donated. Listen to me, I don't want any garbage, but we get nice clothes donated. We do it a day or 2. Is that what you're kind of thinking of?
Yes.
And then after that, we donate back the rest of it to an organization, so we don't have to hold on to it. See, that's why I come to these meetings. You guys should thank you for having me, by the way.
So I do know that the suit up event that we've done with JCPenney's, at least over the past couple semesters, has been successful. I would also say I went to the suit up event prior to COVID where did it in person. And I can say that whenever we got ready to like walk into JCPenney's, it was full of students. And I found that to be extremely beneficial because you could actually go and like get sized for your shoes, and you pretty much had the whole store to yourself specifically for those. So if there would be a possibility to possibly do some form of like a hybrid event where we could do both, I think that would be extremely beneficial to the students rather than having the students have to go independently to go get sized and then order it online.
I will remember. I'm glad you said that.
Just so you know, I did actually use, it was a year ago, so still online, definitely, but they can actually put the code in the store. So I actually went to the Longview JCPenney when it was online.
They didn't let you do it in store? Well, that's wrong. It is
supposed to.
Listen to me. That is actually wrong. It is supposed to be. I thought you were talking about actually having the whole event like we did in the past, but yes. So you tell me next time and I'll go do something, because yes, you should be able to with that code in store or online. So they didn't know what they were talking about. Sorry about that.
Yeah, 2 ideas I have right off or the and stuff. That's something that SGA knows I brought up a little bit, and then that just has to do with connecting with alumni, having that alumni network, like being like, oh wow, like when I graduate, I can go reach out to people at Brookshire's or whoever, or Chris's mother Francis, wherever you want to go, depending on your major. I think that's important. And then that kind of in that scheme is like very like networking focused events for multiple people on campus. Business, it's like part of the curriculum. It's like the number one thing you do.
Right.
It's like force fed into you to network and meet people. And I think like other students are at a disadvantage because whenever I talk to people outside of business and I like go talk to someone who does your job right now, they're like kind of confused by that as a concept. So I worry for them because it's been valuable to me in finding places to go and to work after I graduate. So
yes, networking and getting your name out and finding people, that's invaluable. So, you know, and I will say this, a couple of things about that. Our career fairs are an excellent place to network. Our professional panels, we had in-person professional panels this whole semester for every college. Excellent place. I mean, Souls College of Business is the last one we're doing this semester, but we've had one for every college, and we had multiple employers that were here. And when we invite employers, they're employers that we have a relationship with and that want to hire UT Tyler students, you know? So those are the best people to network with because they already want you guys. So it makes it a little bit easier. So yes, so I hear you. I hear you about the alumni. I know for sure Souls College of Business, at least one of those this week is an alumni. We're always definitely looking for alumni to connect with. Obviously, Francine Durr is the alumni coordinator too. And I know that, you know, we're super happy to work with her anytime as far as, you know, making the full circle as far as alumni careers and then matching them all up. Because I'm with you 100%. All of those are important. So I wrote it down and we'll see how we can work with Francine and even more so. But our career, I will say this too, career fairs, you'd be surprised how many alumni are here on campus, like recruiting students because they know that they want to hire you guys because they just graduated from here. They graduated several years ago too. So
yes, I was wondering if you guys do any like the runway fashion show type things with business clothes. I went to one in the summer that was with Hispanic women, and they did that. So it was kind of nice seeing the way how they kind of styled it, the way it looks like on a different type of people. So I don't know if that's something you guys do.
No, I think that was what so in the past, I'll confess, when we did our dress for career success and everything like career conversations like that, we've talked about it, but we haven't done it. So definitely maybe we can do that in the fall for sure and have one where we have, because I think that's super fun. Like it makes me want to do it. So yeah.
Okay. We'll get Justin and then Robert and that'll be it.
So I had a question. So I know that we have like panels and different events for career success. Is there a possibility of looking into like luncheons for it as an event? Because I know for like the QEP and everything, some of us went to a luncheon there. It just feels more personal, I guess. Like rather than sitting across from a panel, I feel like that could work for some students better.
That's a great thought. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so to me, so this is how I work in life. You know, I'm willing to try anything. I just, you know, you guys can tell me this too, is how I can, like, what can I do? So I'm gonna put you guys on the spot too. So yes, it's a great option because I never had thought about that specifically of, hold on, let me write it down. If I don't write it down, I don't remember it. So you guys tell me, what is the key? So I'll tell you, we had our professional panels, all except our Souls College of Business. That one, everybody still has an opportunity to show up. But at every one of our professional panels, we've had very few students. We've offered pizza. We've offered like networking, like anything. We've even gone to deans to try to if we can get extra credit by like going to faculty and trying to offer like, okay, can we get students extra credit? Because we want you guys there because we know how invaluable they are. But what am I missing? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. So that's a great question. So we advertise on social media, and then your career coach sends it out to you. It's an Engage and it's an on Handshake. So those are the 4 like that I know for a fact that all the coaches did this semester. I know that there's, I mean, like right now for the Souls College of Business, there are some flyers out there in the hallway. I saw those when I came in. So yeah. So what should I do to advertise more? Yeah. I'll ask you. Oops, sorry.
I thought you actually had a question. That's why I was like, oh wait, hold up. Right, I lost my train of thought. How else should she be?
Yes.
Like maybe towards like that lunch idea that we were talking about. Maybe instead of like just a lunch, students look at it, they're like, just lunch, I'm gonna talk. Maybe like incorporate something that might entice students a little bit further. So maybe incorporate something that might be more fun. So maybe like a game while you're doing the lunch. So way students don't look at it as just like, oh, I just go eat and we just talk about something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe something to get their minds off and to entertain them at the same time. So they feel like more exactly like a giveaway. Maybe like a bingo game.
A giveaway.
Yeah.
I love giveaways. We should do giveaways.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do I how do I communicate effectively that it's going to be fun? I mean, because fun to me may not be fun to you guys.
My one suggestion from my perspective, who I work on some of the SGA marketing, the posts that come through the career success are very much the same.
Okay.
They always are kind of the same format, same colors, which I understand that's like a cohesive branding thing. But you want to put stuff that's going to pop, and opportunities for more fun. I would agree, because when you present a panel, students that are graduating might find that very valuable, but your typical freshman is not going to be like,
right,
I want to spend my Wednesday sitting in front of some old employer guys.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that. I totally get that.
The opportunity for like a casual social, imagine if it was like, come have ice cream with some execs from John Souls. That would be something I would show up to more.
Okay. That's a good thought, because I think it's specific to companies too. So I hear that too. Sorry, I know there's a bunch of people. Oh, sorry.
So I know one thing that we discussed specifically on like the advisory committee for this career success conference was looking at your faculty engagement with the students. Whether students want to admit it or not, we do respect the faculty, and we respect their opinions. And whenever they contact us to say, hey, here's an event that's going on, students will tend to accept that and be more cognizant about going to those events. So I think if you could get the faculty to also promote it to the individual students and to their classes, then you could have a faculty member say, hey, this is something that's going on, and this is where this class is applicable to get you a job. And then I think a lot of students will turn out because they know, oh, what I'm learning in class, I can use to like the jargon that I'm learning in class in a discussion with someone that understands it in the professional setting.
Perfect. Good thought. And we tried. It's
Kina, go ahead.
I think you might get more student engagement just personally if it was in the UC, because I know it is around that lunchtime or maybe in the front lawn, because I know sometimes going to one of the colleges that students aren't familiar with, like the Souls College of Business, might be intimidating to students that have different majors.
Yeah, so that's a great point. Actually, all of them have been in the UC theater this semester, but we were trying to like, okay, we got to try something new, because that's not working for us. That's why we're bringing the Souls College of Business actually to the Souls College of Business, because we're like, okay, we're going to switch that one. So we actually just switched that one from the UC theater to come back to the Souls College of Business in hopes that that would help us. So we're not like, we're really good at like pivoting and like, okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's try this week. I mean, we have changed it so much this semester. Every time we've done it, we keep changing it, like just different ways to see, okay, what if we do it this way or if we do it that way? So yes.
I'm not sure if this was done. I wasn't able to look into it because I had class at most of the times.
Yeah.
But maybe if it's listed like what professionals, like what their profession is, and
Mhm.
also maybe like different times. I think that did each college just have one time during lunchtime? Yeah,
Yeah.
because that middle of the day time, like I have a class from 12:30 to 2:30. It's really inconvenient.
really
So
hard.
if there was another one with like maybe different professionals, like
Mhm.
at a later time, that might have been easier for me to go
Okay.
to.
So like multiple times.
Yeah. And maybe different professionals so they don't get like, they're not like,
Right.
why am I here the entire day?
Perfect. Yes, ma'am.
So talking about different professionals, okay. Do you guys like think about sending out like surveys to see what students want to hear? Because whenever Casey was like looking something up on the thing, it showed up this lady from Walmart, and I was like, oh my goodness, like that interests me. Or like there's a talk about some guy and he works with pallets or owns like a pallet company. I work with pallets, so that really interested me. And so I don't
Yeah.
know if it's like you guys can make like Qualtrics, send it out. I know not a lot of people actually answer them, but it would be like a few people, a little
Right.
bit of inputs.
So you're saying before we scheduled at the employers, or is that what you're saying? Or
Oh, just like maybe get like a consensus of what people would like to see.
Mhm.
Maybe you can like sandwich in like a speaker that you want with someone like that they're interested in talking or hearing.
right. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, so if you look at like all of our professional panels, I feel like this semester we have had phenomenal speak. Like there would have been somebody like forever. I mean, so our goal is obviously there's a lot of majors at UT Tyler, so we can't all the time for every college get every little major, but we do our best to have a variety of different majors represented. But I think that's a great point as far as
All right.
Yeah.
So this kind of falls into a little bit between of what Beverly and Chloe had just mentioned. A little bit both on the time and also what students want to see.
Yeah.
Have you considered sending out maybe like a call tricks just to see like what students would like to see time wise? Like to see what time would potentially work out best for the student body in general. Because that could also be a big determining factor on who attends your on like your events and stuff like that.
Okay. No, that's a great point. And I think I think that's a great point, and I think I could do it. The best way to do it is by college because, you know, we try to do very college specifics besides our general career success workshops, career conversations. Everything else is pretty college specific. So that's a good point. We could definitely do that in the future.
Last one.
Good. No, I'm just joking. No, I like you guys. You guys are giving me such good ideas.
So my biggest thing is on your social media promotion.
I
work in the Office of Student Engagement with
Okay, so before you say this, I'm gonna confess before you're too mean. So Leah Velarde is the social media. We don't have a social media person. So it needs a lot of help. I'm not saying our social media is good. Okay. I'm sorry. Now go ahead and
I kind of help manage the social media pages for 3 of the departments in student engagement.
Yeah.
And working with other departments on campus to help promote events on campus is something that's super beneficial for events that happen anytime here. If you just, for instance, new student and family programs, if you take a look at their Instagram page, there's usually always something on their story, and posts are being made almost weekly just to keep students engaged with things that are happening on campus.
Yes.
Your story is going to be your biggest friend just because it's going to appear on top of there. I would love to continue this conversation more in depth with you some other time.
I would love to. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have 3 student workers. But
let them know.
Trust me, it has not gone well. That is the one thing I try to hire them for every time. And I just have not gotten a student that has been successful in any way at it. So if anybody want a job next semester, doing my social media. But maybe I would actually like to talk to you or any of you guys that have great tips, because I need great tips. Social media is not my thing, but even with a student worker, I I feel like they could train and catch on a lot quicker than even I could. So if you give me all the tips, then yes.
Yeah, I love you guys. I love Amy. I love talking to Amy, Pamela. But I didn't know you guys had an Instagram page until this meeting. So
oh my god. We have an Instagram page.
So
and I do try to post it once a week. Try. But it's nothing exciting. I mean, it is exciting. It's exciting to me, but it's probably not exciting to you guys. I do post all of our events on there, but yes. So come and talk to me, please. I beg you. I beg of you. Oh, good. Yay.
Everyone
okay,
go
cool.
follow Leah's Career Success.
Actually, that made my day.
Yes. We got you. 30 new followers right here.
Okay, you guys made my day. Now you've inspired me to pick it up.
You can do this.
I'm gonna hire I'm gonna literally I'm not gonna hire anybody else unless they prove to me they can do it.
Have them show you their Instagram portfolio.
Right. That's what I need to do. And I've just been taking people's words for it. It's not working out. Yep. Okay. First of all, thank you guys so much. I know it's my time is up. You guys are awesome. Good. I would love to come back anytime, maybe next whoever's running the show next time around. I'd love to come back. I want to keep hearing from you guys and I will do my best. Please feel free to stop by my office. I'm in the UC, right in the main Career Success, right across from Subway. You're welcome to stop by anytime. If you have any grand ideas for me, I'll take them all. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Leah. All right. Moving right along. All right, guys. Thank you. Moving on to officer reports. Last week was the SAC COC on-site visit. I know some of you participated in the various meetings that occurred. Landry and I participated in most of them. So it was a busy week, but very eye-opening in terms of kind of the behind the scenes of running a university. I know I definitely found most of the conversations very interesting. This week, of course, is homecoming, so a lot on my plate in that regard. Midnight breakfast, as you guys know, is a beast to put on. So Landry and I and the rest of the executive board have been hard at work making that ready to go.
Yeah, so one of the things that we did last weekend was we actually had Valerie, Chloe, Dix, Shelby, and myself and my girlfriend all go over to Casey's house and we painted the banner. So that was fun. And then, of course, I've just been working on things, getting strategizing with Casey on y'all's assignments for tomorrow, which we're going to talk about later, and just overall logistics with the director of Sodexo and Caitlin. So it's going to be a good event. I'm excited for it. It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be controlled chaos. So it'll be nice.
Fun chaos. Yeah. Don't leave after the meeting. We have to go over that.
This week I've been working on just advertising everything. Casey's helped a lot with the elections and midnight breakfast. There's like 2 posts that are on the story right now. Shelby helped with 1, 2. Communications talked about everything. And I guess we're just getting everything ready for the elections too. And I'm excited for tomorrow. So
Treasurer Limbrick?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I met with Josh last week and he told me that I need to start getting ready for transition for the next treasurer. So I've been trying to organize the Excel sheets, getting all my things in order. As far as budgeting for everything looks fine. I have to organize a few things such as midnight breakfast. I got to figure out, what specific category that falls under. So when the next treasurer comes in and you guys have another midnight breakfast, he knows where to put everything. So I'm gonna make a list of things of, okay, if this midnight breakfast, then put it under, for example, SGA marketing or something else. So that's what I'm working on.
Thank you. Chief of Staff Bennett.
So because of me being chief of staff, I don't have much exactly to do with midnight breakfast. So I've been able to go and actually go and do a couple other things. I've been talking with Katie Stone about the continuing of the QEP past the initial beginning of it, and to see how over the next couple of years it's going to be really kicking off and really being able to help the students. I've also been able to speak with the Souls College of Business dean about how ways in which SGA can come and help out not only the College of Business but also other colleges as well. And one of the ways that he's really called out to me was through the esports program here. And so really to be able to really not only advocate for more investment into the esports program, but one of the things that he was talking about, and Josh over there, he's been working closely with them on it, as far as I know, about making currently their they're basically essentially their coach, Ashley. She is a student worker currently, and she's graduating this semester. And so they are looking at making that a full-time position for whenever she graduates, so that she can not only continue to be here to help out the esports program here and help it to grow, but also be able to look forward towards the future to be able to allow more people to be able to allow this to be able to grow even past whenever she leaves. And so I've been working closely with them on that, and just miscellaneous other little things. Yeah, it's a grand old time.
Moving on to committee reports, events committee. Who's speaking? Yeah, just go for it.
Okay, yeah, it was kind of informal.
Try again. Gosh, Louise, you had to hit us with all caps. Did you turn it?
Hello.
There we go. Not the implied exclamation point. Yes. Yes. Here.
Work. I think I'm cursed. Okay, there it goes. Never mind. Yeah, so and then we just pretty much discussed what we're gonna do for decorations, and we'll talk a lot about what midnight breakfast is gonna look like tonight. So
Communications.
Okay, so this week we've mainly just been working on posts for midnight breakfast and elections. As Ashlyn said earlier, I made a story post, basically just stating that the deadline for applying for a position for a senator or e-board was today at 5. That's pretty much it. I guess right now we're just going to be advertising, voting, and midnight breakfast tomorrow night. So
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got a lot of submissions, so kudos to y'all for, I'm assuming you guys have been positively advertising student government prior to the election. So kudos to y'all for getting other people to sign up and get involved.
Yeah, in general too, it's also really easy just to bring something up to somebody random, like if you're just talking to somebody. And if y'all take pictures tomorrow, which you're not supposed to be on your phone, but if you take pictures, like go ahead and send them to me, because we're gonna need to make a post about that, or send them to Casey.
Yes.
She loves pictures.
Also, those of you who are flooding, again, you'll see your assignments later. But my idea is to make like a video montage almost. So take like 2-second videos is kind of the idea. We would take a bunch of 2-second videos all throughout the night and put them together. And I think it's going to look really cool. So
I think a TikTok idea was just really stupid, but like, you know, those ones where it's like put on this pair and then take a picture and then have a bunch of people. I think that would be cool if we had like a certain pair of like sunglasses or something like that. I think that would be cool.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think that would be really fun if we did something like that. I don't know. Maybe we should make a student government TikTok. Yeah.
Should SGA have a TikTok?
Yeah.
Very mixed reaction here. Okay. All right.
I think it'd be really fun.
Okay. Moving on to
Hey there, sorry about that. So for this Thursday, we are meeting with two groups. The first group is the SAE organization requesting an amount of $410. And Mr. Carlos Ortiz Ramirez is going to be representing the group.
It's not
And
the fraternity. What does it stand for?
It's the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Okay, thank you.
And right. And
Don't worry, guys.
is the organization named Reformed University Fellowship, represented by Ms. Catherine Binkley, requesting an amount of $269.75.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for reporting on that, Luis.
Anytime.
Okay, Rules Committee.
We discussed a bit about proposals that we've done previously, and we're also just working on a few things that are further down the road to present to you guys later.
Great. Love to hear that. And then ESC, Macy. All right, we're going to teamwork this. Look at that SGA teamwork, passing the mic.
So we met up on Thursday and we actually discussed a clothing drive. So I was listening to ideas, I was typing those down. So we'll probably discuss some of the new ideas on Thursday. And another thing we're doing is we're trying to bring the Lime scooters to campus. So yeah.
You can see Josh shaking his head in the back. Let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. All right. We're not going to talk about this forever, but I had to briefly say it. Last time we talked about it, you were going to be required to wear helmets and a knee pad. So that's what was proposed, because there are so many dangerous hills on our campus that you couldn't go up the giant hill. You had to wear a helmet and knee pads. You couldn't cross streets. So we decided not to pursue it at the time. We can definitely talk about it though. All right. Bring it back. Okay, moving on to student voice reports. First up, we have College of Nursing and Health Sciences. That's Shelby, Valerie, and Justin. Justin, if you want to go first.
So since we didn't meet last week, but I was able to talk with both level 3 and level 4 students to get their output on how we can make admissions better for nursing students. And I was also able to talk with some new grads and see what they thought like we could improve from their experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Shelby.
Whenever we talked about pre-nursing and admissions and all that. One thing that Angie Copeland was starting to bring up was on the new admissions letters for Castle Branch, which is like what we have to submit all of our vaccination and immunization records through. She started a thing where now she has due dates on each thing. That way we know what has to be submitted. That way we don't have to go through the problem of rushing and procrastinating to get everything done in time to start and sign up for classes and things like that. And also they are starting to audit pre-nursing students now to make sure that we have everything academic wise, like class wise and everything, to go ahead and be admitted. That way we don't have to worry about that also whenever we're trying to get everything ready to start our respective semesters.
Yeah, that's awesome. Due dates is a no-brainer, but definitely a game changer with Castle Branch. Teamwork yet again. Love that.
Okay, so we also talked about the culture of the nursing program, and just like, rather than saying not all of you are going to make it, say something like all of you can do it, just really not encouraging to hear, like, look around, like not all of you are going to be graduating together. Like, it's really scary, especially in level 1. But Justin came and talked to our holistic class a couple weeks ago. I don't remember when. It was really cool because it was just like, Justin's Justin. He's really accomplished. And he was just like, I've done this and this and this, and just gave us like uplifting to be like, you can do it. And then we did talk about the auditing. We talked about automatic enrollment for nursing students. So just like it's pretty self-explanatory. You get automatically enrolled after level 1. So we don't have to go through the whole process of trying to get ourselves enrolled and trying to do all the other nursing things that are being done. So that's really nice. And I think that it's looking good for advising wise, just because we have that director now and she's really awesome and she's good at her job. So yeah.
Is that it for nursing? Okay. OHAL?
They did a lot better letting us know when our room checks would be. They actually told me 3 different times instead of not at all. So, and then for our tornado warning last night, we all just kind of hung out in the stairwell for a while until they're like, y'all can go back to bed. Whatever. That was helpful. This isn't really OHAL related, but there's a couple of accessibility things. Like I have a friend who's visually impaired, and she's like, some of the lights outside, because she lives in what's that one over there? PV. She lives over in PV, so she has to walk a while to get home, and some of the lights aren't on, and she can see with lights, but she can't really see like things. And she's like, some of the lights are not on, so I don't really know, because she's got like one late class. So she was like, I'm a little worried about that, because like obviously she can't drive, but like that walk you're talking about doing, there's definitely several lights that are out.
We are doing that. The planning meeting is next week. Okay. So again, if anybody's interested in participating in that process, let me know.
Hey, so I finally got to meet with Whitney Ellis. She is no Ariel, but that's okay. And then so after that, I was like, since they gave me a lot of attitude, I'm gonna make a little survey. So I sent it out. I didn't get enough people that I wanted to, but I felt like I did get a good amount. So on. My computer died, but I wrote down some things that I remembered. Some people pointed out that so whether or not they chose their roommates or not, a lot of people are like, oh, we've had a lot of like problems with them. A lot of it's like eating their food, the cleanliness of them and stuff like that is what they kind of wrote down in the little options area. Neighbors was a big thing that I saw throughout a lot of the people things. I was like, me too. I understand that, because oh my goodness, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like that. Parking was one. I added it on there to see if anyone did think parking was a problem, because I remember whenever I was in building 3 at night when everyone was at home, that was a problem. So we got a couple of those, but personally I don't think it's that big in building 4. The staff and then the gate was one that really surprised me, because since we're all kind of like upperclassmen, a lot of people don't really mind the gate not being closed. But there was, I think, like 2 people that brought it up. So that's one thing. And then, that's one. But like the good things about it, everybody likes the facilities, like the little gym and stuff. Some people did not know that we even had it. They were like, I would really like it if we had a gym and like a pool. And I'm like, we do have one. But I think, once we get more like events and stuff going on, like outside of COVID, they'll realize that. And then the cost was something I saw too that was really good. I don't think it's too bad either. So, but there was some people that were like, and then some comments that were there. They want more group activities, which I'm gonna bring up to them, and then implementing temperature preferences whenever you fill out for housing, which I thought was really interesting. I've never touched the temperature thing in any of the apartments I've been in, but yeah. Yeah.
It was a real problem. Okay. Ashlyn has a question, and then it'll be University Pines, which is Z, and then Jacqueline for Liberty.
For any of the housing senators, have y'all talked to anybody about the summer applications and then why we got a roommate group, whatever?
So I haven't heard anything from people that aren't orientation leaders or SWIP camp, or I guess just orientation leaders. So I only know from like what we're doing with it. I don't know how everyone else is doing it, but I haven't heard anything.
Have you filled out an application for the summer?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get to choose anything, or was it just like a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, a townhome?
So
and that's all you
actually,
had?
housing is going to be at Victory this summer because of renovations that they're doing at Liberty.
They didn't put that though.
Yeah,
that's what I was told. I was like, why don't I have that as an option?
No, it's for everybody. Yeah, so we were told just to sign up and that they were going to fix it on the other end. I don't know if that's the same with everyone else, just because we're going through like the office and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, last question, and then we'll move on.
When I signed up for housing, I signed up for summer 21 because I didn't know, like that was the only one that was available on the day I signed up. So I was like, when they sent out an email about you had to redo the roommate groups, I looked and I was like, why am I not signed up? And I was lucky because I caught it. But I was like, did everyone sign up for summer 21 then that's in nursing? But we're staying at Liberty. Is everyone else staying at Victory? Nursing is at Nursing is only at Liberty. So I don't know. I called them and I was like, I was calling them asking information. He said like we're in buildings 1, 2, and then like the last couple of ones at Liberty when I called.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look into it. Z, you're up next for University Pines.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I don't really know anything about the housing thing in the summer either. I'll ask them about it. And some things I've heard are that the gate's been broken twice. The first time, I think someone rammed into it. And then the second time, it looks like something happened to it, but it's still pretty broken. And some other stuff I've been hearing is about the tornado. They didn't really tell us what to do or where to go. So, and a lot of, there's like 2 floors. So the second floor was just like sitting next to a window because in every room there was a window. So everyone was just kind of confused on what to do, and there was no information about that. And the email we got like talked about all the other housing places, but they didn't specify U Pines. I know that was kind of confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Jacqueline?
Now I feel bad because I have nothing to report basically. There's really just been nothing happening. We still don't have an RC. Marco is still our GA and essentially the person in charge there, and I've met with him and he doesn't really have much to say either other than can we please get an RC. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on to old business. I'd like to entertain a motion to bring back up Miss and Mr. Uchi Tyler voting. Okay, it was motion and seconded. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I made actual ballots. I'll pass them out in a second for Miss and Mr. all in one. I have 21 pins here. I will be counting them at the end because these are my favorite pins ever. And for those of you on Zoom, I'll type this up in a second, but you're going to email Josh with your vote for Miss and Mr. Uchi Tyler. So I'll put the candidates names in the chat and the email to send it to. Does that sound okay with y'all? Can I get a thumbs up emoji or something? All right, thanks, Kina. All right, so Robert, will you pass these out to everyone? Everybody only gets one. And if you need a pen, come grab one or we can pass them. Here. Just take the whole thing. Yes, so that's a good question. This is for the SGA endorsement. And out of the people that were nominated last week, the people on the ballot are those that actually signed up, because you'll remember in the group me that was made a requirement because you have to actually be running. So there are 2 candidates for each Miss and Mr. Select your option for both. And then once you're done, take it over to advisor Josh Neves.
Did anybody not get a pen?
For getting me 21 pins back. 20 pins back. No, I'm just kidding. What's happening? Okay. We'll give advisor Neves some time to tabulate the votes. Do you want us to wait or can we move on, Josh? Okay. I guess we'll wait. Chat amongst yourselves.
Hey, Zoom attendees. How are we doing today? I expect a response verbally. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got this, Kina.
How are you doing today?
I'm always doing fantastic.
I was like eating some pistachios, so like whenever you were asking that, like I was under pressure and I was like trying to like hurry up and like open the shell.
Is pistachio your favorite nut?
Second favorite. My favorite's a cashew.
Your favorite is what? Cashew. Oh.
Kina, this is Shelby. Those are my favorite too.
Gang, cashew gang.
Hey, online people, Josh said that he only has 2 votes via email. So if you have not already voted, please submit your vote or send an email saying you don't want to vote.
No, just send my vote right now.
Yes, send it in via email. Don't send it in the chat.
All right, back to order. Based on the official vote, Casey has won majority vote, and Adon Govea has won the majority vote for Mr.
Do you want to say something? Okay, just a second. Just to clarify, all 4 candidates are still running, so definitely vote how you feel. But this just means that SGA, like social media and everything, will be endorsing those 2 candidates. Hopefully you've already voted. Yeah, that's a valid point. It's been open for 2 days, but okay. Adon wanted to make a comment.
May I rescind my nomination? I would prefer Josh Omenhan get the vote, get the endorsement from SGA. I personally voted for Josh Omenhan. I'm sorry, Josh.
So that, I mean, do we need to vote to allow that? Okay, right. From SGA, right? Yes. Okay. So you are saying that you would like for SGA to rather endorse Josh as the SGA endorsed candidate? If that's what you would like to do, then okay. All right. Then just for the record, will you say I rescind my nomination to be SGA's endorsed Mr. UT Tyler candidate?
I rescind my nomination to the SGA's endorsed candidate for Mr. UT Tyler.
Great. All right. Congratulations, Josh. All right. I entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. It was carried and seconded. We'll move on to what? Does anyone have anything to add to old business? Okay. Come on now. Midnight breakfast we'll talk about after the meeting. So hold on to your socks for that one. Moving on to new business, I'd like to invite okay, so advisory needs, entertain a motion to open a discussion on the use of outdoor bulletin boards and the need. And it was motion and seconded. So you have the floor. It's all you.
Oh.
Come on now.
Okay. So hold on. I'm a little flustered here.
If you don't have anything to say, you can pass it on to Beverly. She has her hand raised. Beverly.
That threw me a little off guard.
Oh my goodness.
I personally like the outdoor bulletin board. Just I was gonna say discussion because I was reading it, but I actually do like them. I think it's a good way just to, really promote things as well. I know a lot of people, they kind of go to the TVs or they go to social media, but I think old school is probably one of the best ways to do it as well. Plus, like the community can use it, so it's like, I mean, it's not hurting anyone, I don't think. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
Great points.
Yeah, I think having him is pretty nice. I think it's very cool that the community is very open to posting on the outdoor bulletin boards. I think that gives them a real big outlet to be able to speak on campus, which I know they're not allowed to do much stuff inside because of regarding free speech and private spaces and stuff like that. So giving them the outlet to still be able to do things on campus, even if it is just posting on a bulletin board, is pretty important, I feel like.
Just for our information before you pass it on, do you know where the outdoor bulletin boards are, and could you expound on that?
Yeah, the outdoor bulletin boards are outside of the BEP facing towards the test lake and in front of the backside of the library.
Thank you.
Oh, in front of the cast? Yeah, there's just
the art complex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, fine arts complex. Okay, I've never been out there. So.
I was gonna say I like the outdoor bulletin boards, but just as we literally just talked about, I don't think a lot of people know where they are. I only knew of one before we just listed them all off. So maybe if there was just a way that we could promote them on social media, that was just like, hey, there's a bulletin board here, by the way. That's pretty much all.
So might not necessarily be the popular opinion, but I really don't see them utilized all. Maybe anything awesome. So I think it was like a missing dog poster that was there all of last semester. And it got rained on multiple times and like was all runny. So I really don't see them utilized that much. I see them more as just a place on campus that can be utilized but aren't utilized.
Okay, Robert's next. And then Landry.
I'm in the opinion of that, that they are not being utilized, but however, yeah, like you said, might be because of the weather outside. I know that they're not very well protected outside, and so maybe if we are to keep them, maybe go in there and put a covering over the top to make sure that, because a lot of us don't have access necessarily financially to a lot of these other things that will allow it to withstand the weather if we were to put it up there. And so a lot of us is pretty much just a piece of paper, and that doesn't go too well in just regular rain or even mist. And so really to be able to put that top on there to allow for it to last longer would really be really good.
The not affordable, you're talking about like laminating it or using sheen paper?
Okay. I guess my question would be, what would be the alternative? Like, would something else go there? Or if we were to get rid of it, and if not, is it just going to be empty space? And I don't know if that's a question that you can answer or anybody's discussed yet.
Can you give us an idea of community utilization? It's, like Daniel mentioned, most students use the indoor televisions and things.
So Daniel's spot on. And we don't get a lot of, so back up. It goes to Landry's comment too. We as a department do not keep up with those bulletin boards. We promote it, and it's on the list of possible posting locations. But historically, we've always looked at that as an opportunity to let anybody post on there. Now, if we see something that's against the law, that's not permissible, then yes, we do take it down when we catch it. But our team doesn't go around checking those bulletin boards. So the question came up today because the storm last night really did a number on some of our boards. And then the stuff that was on the boards came off the boards. And so it becomes trash, and it makes we take great pride in our campus and how clean it looks. And so the question became, well, do students use it? And would students be upset if they disappear? And so I said, well, before we do anything, let's ask student government. Because if y'all feel that there's a value in them, then we need to look at, okay, how do we either preserve it or do something better? Some institutions do electronic. And so that space, make it more covered, but then make that an electronic. But that's a lot more money. And then you have to get the right equipment to make sure it can survive weather, especially because those little spots get hit pretty hard with rain and sun. No. Technically, the way the policy is written, we could go ahead and start regulating it now, but we don't, because that's one more spot we would have to keep up with. And we like being able to help. It's nice to be able to, instead of just saying flat out no, to say, hey, these are open, they're out in the community or public, they're not indoors, but technically it's still use of space.
The question was, if it went to an electronic billboard, would community members still be able to post? And the answer was no.
I don't know how attainable this is, but maybe like because the one that I see the most often is the one right outside the library in the back area. So I was wondering if it's like a possibility to, if we're going to full on renovate it, to still be like a community posting one, if it's possible to have like some sort of seating area there or something to like gravitate people towards it, like something there so that they see it, and then maybe more students will even post there along like with the cover, and just like make like maybe getting a new one if that's something that they're willing to do or we're willing to do. Yeah, like we're moving it. I was gonna say like somewhere like Harvey Deck too. So it just like depends on how far we're willing to go with it. Like I think a seating area would draw my attention to it.
Mm-hmm. Landry and then Justin.
All right. So now I'm not flustered anymore. So I got my thoughts together. All right. So I work in student engagement. And so this is something that's like a common occurrence. People come in and day out, even though, so inside the building, student orgs that are registered are the only ones that can actually use the posting locations. So those freedom speech boards are the only things that people who aren't registered student orgs can use. And shockingly, people who always come and ask to post, they don't know anything about those bulletin boards. And so maybe it's just the way we're advertising it that's all wrong, or maybe it's the location that we have them put in. Maybe we need to consider maybe relocating them instead of like replacing them with new ones, maybe just using the old ones and just moving them around. So the way you save costs, and it's just a matter of, hey, we just put this somewhere else. Am I working? Yeah. Okay. You started walking over here. I thought it was because of the sound. Oh, okay. So it's just more so maybe find a way of how to draw people's attention. Yeah. And I think that might have to do mostly with location, because I know for a fact that nobody probably looks at the bulletin board all the way over by the Fine Arts Complex, because most people that I know, they don't even know that we have a Fine Arts Complex to begin with. And fine example was right here during our meeting. So.
Yeah, I know one that comes to mind, the kind of like backlit UT Tyler sign thing between STE and BEP HPR area that covered between the breezeway. Y'all know what I'm talking about though? That like triangle shape. That would be a perfect place for one because it's covered. It's in a high traffic area from people coming from class to the UC. So converting that's already there into a posting location would be a good use of resource in my opinion. Oh, there's another one down by the Met, Daniel's saying. So yeah, I mean, you're right. They're not in high traffic locations. And so we're really just kind of potentially tossing trash on the ground for no reason, if you look at it that way.
I don't know if this is like something that most people would agree with or not, but I do like the idea of having an electronic kind of board, and even like a seating area, like Chloe said, especially in honestly probably in a different area for some of them where it's more highly trafficked, more on the like probably outside of the university. Because I know like in front of the UC, that's a very highly trafficked area. I'm not even saying necessarily there, but areas like that. But I don't think you necessarily have to get rid of the old style bulletin board either. I think you can kind of incorporate that just so if you wish to have give groups outside of the university that ability to post, even though they're not within the university, then that option's still there. But if not, then I think I like the idea of having more of like a advertisement center almost, and just kind of relaxing spot if that with a canopy. I know that's the most expensive option, but
some schools, that's how it is, where you just have like one location where if you want to know what's going on, you walk over there. But I mean, my argument would be that that's what engages, like to what degree do we still want to facilitate paper at all?
Well, and I think something to consider too is that I know we have some campus maps, but you can make those places also more of an updated version of a campus map or something like that. Because I know like if you go to like shopping centers and stuff like that, there's really detailed like you're here, like kind of campus maps. And I think that'd be a good chance to up.
Any other thoughts? I entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. Okay, is motion and seconded. I'm actually going to skip the SGA banquet discussion for now. All I'll say is if you have an idea for a theme, talk to Landry. Okay. Does anyone have anything to add to new business? Oh, two. All right.
Okay, so one thing that I've noticed around campus, this is an idea for, oh, move to discuss walking trail painting signs. Okay, so I don't know how many of y'all use the walking trails here or really know where they are, but I've noticed the one by Liberty, the sign over there is not painted. So I was thinking maybe for like a senator project, we could go around and see what signs are not painted for walking trails, maybe paint them just to like let people know, hey, there's a trail here, so people can use them more. Because I don't know about y'all, but I didn't even know that was there until about 3 weeks ago whenever I went with two of my friends to go on a walk over there. So I just think that may be part of campus that we're not really utilizing as much as we could. And so I figure if we paint them and label them more, people would use them more.
For a senator project, you would just essentially create a proposal. So whenever you have it ready, you would come to the Senate and present a PowerPoint about kind of what the cost would be, what the benefits would be, and your idea for how it would be implemented. I was going to say enacted. That's not really right. Implemented. So if that's something you're interested in doing, or you and someone else in the Senate or other people in the Senate, what have you, if anybody's interested in taking up this idea, that's how you would go about it. Okay.
It's about the sign. I noticed the other day, the one like coming off of the walking path from Liberty to the HPC, like that sign right there. Are we in charge of that? It's like, I think it's like says the wellness trail, and the map of it is like torn. So I didn't know who if that like related to that.
I think Shelby's suggestion about looking at signs is a great one. The disc golf course, those signs could also use some work. Don't know if y'all been out there. So I would say let's take a look. You guys document maybe the signs that would need some work, and we'll talk about it at a later date.
Did bring that up on the walk around campus that you.
Great point. Great point. Okay. Can y'all just pass the mic back? All the way back.
Motion to open up a discussion about summer housing. Okay. So I signed up for summer housing, for nursing. And when I signed up, there wasn't an option for, how there's like summer 1, long summer, summer 2, nursing. There wasn't a nursing option. So that just because I remember. Okay. So do I need to start over? No. Okay. Okay, so basically signed up for housing. Wow, I lost my train of thought now. It didn't show a nursing option. Oh, and I called because I looked and my application like wasn't there. So I resubmitted it and I was like, I know they do priority based on like who submitted it first. So I was like, I want to make sure they submitted mine first. So I called up there and I was like, hey, I have the confirmation email. Why did I have to resubmit it? He's like, oh, you signed up for summer 21 housing. And I was like, why is it even available? Like, shouldn't that be closed? Question mark. So I went and I redid it. And he just changed the date, whatever. So I just asked Mia to look at it, and hers also said summer 21. So I'm thinking all the nursing majors just signed up for summer 21 housing, and I'm nervous that none of us will have housing for the summer if that's the case. Because he was like, well, I didn't know I had an issue until I went back and I double checked. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if that's a problem or yeah. Well, I just asked, well, Mia also signed up and hers said summer 21 for the confirmation email, but she just did it again and it said summer 22. But on the website, it says summer 21. Might have to pull it up and see what I'm talking about.
So for ours, originally it did say summer 21, and about an hour and a half later, we were told to redo it, and it was like updated. But on both of them, I did see the option for nursing though.
So whenever I submitted my application, I ended up not redoing it. I didn't get a thingy saying to redo it, but I did get the little roommate group thing, and I never do roommate group thing. I literally just sign up for housing. So that part it did send to everybody. So just clarifying on that.
Let's talk to Matt this week and see if we can get that sorted out. Because if it's a widespread issue, we need to address it for sure.
Because that would suck if none of the nursing majors had housing for the summer.
Yeah, can you send me?
Yes, I'm sure we do, but I just don't know if it's like an actual issue or if it's just like a typo or whatever.
Can you email me about it and we can look into it?
I called up there. Well, I called up there and he was like, oh, you signed up for 21 housing. Go ahead and just do it again. And I was like, well, is it just me or is it everyone that's having that problem? But they never told us to resubmit it like y'all did. Did they send anything out about that? No? I feel like they should have.
Yeah, so we need to look into that.
Okay, thanks.
I entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. Okay, it was carried and seconded. Does anyone else have anything? All right. Oh my goodness, Soren.
Discussion on the new logo change.
Oh,
so
real
I've
quick,
been
question mark.
it is quick. I've been talking to a lot of students, and unanimously, all of them have been sort of confused, disappointed about the new logo change. So I was wondering, like, what's y'all experience with that? Talking to people and what they had to say.
So just in terms of the academic logo, it's been very mixed to negative. But I'm sure a lot of this has been coming from the Instagram account that people have seen everywhere, the Save the Flag T, where a lot of people have been talking about this. But a lot of stuff that they haven't kind of touched on is that we are going to get a new athletic logo as well, that this is just our academic logo. And so a lot of people having the mixed reviews are just for the academic logo. I've seen like no one's really taken into account that we are going to have that other logo besides that.
All right, so out of everyone I've talked to, I've heard maybe 2 good reviews about the new academic logo. The rest are very negative, and all of them were from freshmen and sophomores in that time, or that like age range. So they didn't have like a real connection to the flag T. They just find the new like academic logo like we're too much of a subsection of UT Austin, and we're associating ourselves too much with UT Health, and we need to be our own like people because that's not us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I want to remind everyone as student leaders, people do look up to what we say and stuff like that. So please don't be saying publicly bad stuff about the logo, even if you do not like it. One thing that I wanted to talk about with the 2 logo discussion that people are saying, they're like, we need a compromise. They have been going to a school where they think we only have 1 logo. The flag T really served as both the athletic and academic. So that's why they kind of think it's kind of weird how we only have this one right now. They don't know that the athletic logo is coming. So I've honestly, I feel like once that shield swoop or whatever we get afterwards comes out, you're gonna like settle down a little. It's just kind of like the first wave of things is just something that they're gonna have to deal with, and I'm sure they thought about it whenever they released the new logo.
Yeah, really good point.
I get that people have a lot of things to say about it, but these people came in here and showed us the logo, and we weren't allowed to say anything about it, really. They basically said, this is going to be the logo. So if that's what they did to us, is there any point in talking about it? Like, can we get it changed? I mean, they showed it to us already, and they already did it, and it went through everything. So, like, it's our logo. Even if you like it or don't, we can't really do anything about it. I mean,
go ahead.
So I think that kind of the two items that I've heard most out of students would be, the first would be what Ashlyn hit on, which was it almost seemed, and I think they were consulting with a particular student group about the logo, if I'm remembering correctly. I can pull back up the report later, but I think they said that they consulted with a few students, but pretty much the general consult like that I've heard from students is they didn't really talk to us about it. They just kind of came out and said, this is the new logo. And I think the other item that's kind of leaving a bad taste in some people's mouth is I think the general impression that we got was that the flag tee was just going to transition to be an athletic mark. And I think even with them coming to present the athletic mark, I like the new mark, both new marks, but I think that the student body is going to have a negative reaction to whenever they announce the athletic mark, because not only are they removing the flag tee from the academic logo, but then they're also removing it from all of our sports logos. And I think that's going to have a negative reaction. I mean, there's not really much we can do about it by now. We've already spent a couple $1 million on this, so there's not really much we can do. But I think that voice should be heard so that we can prepare for the next logo change, because let's be honest, we know that it's going to come. And I think if we can preemptively prepare for that, we can better serve the future students rather than right now. Because I mean, the changes aren't happening.
Y'all, that Dr. Calhoun and I have talked about the student feedback with both logos. He was very understanding. I've said basically all that y'all are saying, maybe a little bit nicer, but definitely the feedback about feeling that we weren't consulted. I did bring that to him, and he was very understanding about us feeling that way. So
second.
Okay, it was motion and seconded to close discussion on that topic. Does anyone have anything to add to new business? Seeing none, we'll move on to advisor comments.
Okay, I'm going to start with the logo one since that's fresh in my mind. So I know there's concern about it looks too much like UT Health. We are one. UT Health and UT Tyler's one. We are one entity. That is us. And so it does make sense for have a consistent branding for both major organizations, because we are one entity now. And so I know it's very frustrating. I know there's a lot of affinity tied to our outgoing marks, especially the flag tee. But that's where the student athletic mark is going to come in, because like as Casey mentioned, as soon as she addressed the concerns that y'all had about the academic mark, the following week after Casey's one-on-one, Jeff was here, the new vice president for marketing was here, and he showed y'all the rough designs for the student athletic mark, and y'all liked it. Y'all provided over a very strong positive feedback for those marks. And I think students are going to really appreciate that, because if we go back in time to when what is now the outgoing marks came in, there was a lot of frustration about swoop leaving, and students were very upset, and same concerns that students weren't consulted, and y'all spoke up, and at least swoop was saved, right? But now swoop is coming back as a mark. And so that means you'll start seeing swoop again on a lot of polos, on t-shirts. And I think that's going to generate a lot more school pride than the flag tee will. ever could do. And I think we can do a lot more creative stuff with Swoop, as well as the jerseys, just all across the board. And then we also don't have to redesign certain aspects like the mat, the Swoop and Go. All those make sense now again because Swoop is going to be a mark. And so, so the best advice I can give on that is, I know there seems to be some of kind of a small movement of students that are upset. That is student government's job. Is that y'all already gave y'all's feedback to marketing about the next mark that is coming out. And so the process is already in motion. They're making the final touches before it goes to a vote. And so I think there might still be an opportunity to get student feedback, an official survey on the marks, the student athletic marks. But that's going to have to be a question for the vice president for marketing. And so I think that's a valid question. And I don't think there's any harm. And it could help get students to see what is on the horizon before it's actually published, because that might excite students to see, oh, this is going to be pretty nice, and hopefully get people excited about it. And so I do want to share that. So I do think, since student government's already provided feedback, I don't see any harm in student government speaking up and saying, hey, no, student government's already addressed this. If there's a petition or if there's students complaining about it, they need to come talk to y'all and say, look, we've seen what's on the horizon. We liked it. We voted in favor of it. Because if they came and y'all didn't like it, I'm pretty confident that they would have probably went a different direction. But because the overall feedback was positive, they moved forward in the process based on your feedback already. So to go back and try to change that, I don't think that would be undermining student government, because you're the official voice of the student body. You've given that opinion on it. And so if students are upset, they might be upset with you then at that point. So try to my advice was to be patient. Be patient to see one that I really do. I'm pretty confident they're going to like it. And I think people will be excited about it. So you can go back to the YouTube video from y'all's meeting and then go to that slide and show students this is what they're proposing. And I think they're proposing either one or all three. So I think that's a good way to get the word out, not only for y'all, because then that's an awesome opportunity for y'all to say, hey, no, we've already addressed this. If you got concerns, come talk to us. That's what open forum's for. That's what speakers podium's for. Or they can talk to you as the representative of your area to voice their concerns. And so I think just like when we rolled out the flag tee and the academic mark, students didn't like it then. But here we are, students are upset about losing it. It takes time for change to take effect and for it to grow on you. Yeah. So I'm going to come back to Robert now. Can you give me more of an example? I think that's a good question for marketing. I mean, if it gets disposed of, I mean, it's disposed of. The letters. Yeah. That's a good marketing question. So one of us just needs to ask. Yeah, I think that's a good marketing question. I do know it's going to be a slow roll, right? And so It's not going to be as aggressive as last time, in my opinion, because those cost money to replace. So it's going to be a phase out. It's going to be a natural. As we buy new things, we'll buy with the new logo. It's still part of our history. So it's not something that we're just going to get rid of right away. It's still who we are at the same time. Okay. Yeah. And for those for record, the question was, will there be a process to request or to attain any outgoing items? The example was floor mats. Josh. I think that's a great idea because it gets the word out. No, I think it's a good idea for student government to do an official statement and saying to remind students that this has already been addressed at student government's level. If you've got questions, concerns, come back. Y'all are in favor of the new mark that is on the horizon. The question was, should there be an official action voted on by student government to do an official statement regarding this topic? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Housing has already a lot of summer contracts, 159. They did reach out to a few students who had some housing system issues. But if there are concerns, to reach out to housing directly, and they promise they will be able to accommodate you. All nursing or all students staying in summer housing will stay at Liberty Landing. The exception will be the orientation staff. They will be staying at Victory Village. So everybody will be at Liberty Landing. Okay, so bikes, electronic bikes. So it's a good idea. It's not a bad one. The reason why I chuckled is because we did it a few years ago. We partnered with a company. I think they were Lime Bike, or they were green, and they were everywhere on campus. Everywhere on campus. And so it started off really well, but then students stopped using it because of the financial reasons. And there's a bike share program. And so the student government then, when it phased out, the company just completely backed out. And we had a great deal set up. We didn't charge them anything. They were allowed to be here. We did ask students not to go down RBS, that hill, because that is very dangerous, and you could fly. And so what gets brought back up, instead of doing the bike share, something that student government has talked about bringing back instead is the shuttle program. And so that way it doesn't cost students anything directly in the moment. And then it's student worker jobs. And then you could come up with a shuttle system to where, you pick up students, drop off. And so the challenge will always be crossing the street though, because we're not allowed to cross the street with utility carts.
We had a senator project proposal for a revamped shuttle, and he emailed me the information when I became president, Adam, because he graduated. But I do actually have all of his notes about how it would work, about all the conversations he had, the PowerPoint presentation in my email. So
either option is possible. And so if y'all want to go down that route, you are more than welcome to have those discussions and to make an official recommendation to the institution to explore it. I would keep in mind the cost to students. And so some students cannot in the moment afford to pay for a bike, where if we built it in somehow to where it doesn't cost anything to do the shuttles, I think that's a win-win. And so either option, good idea. Or if we need to look at more bike racks, student government senators used to sponsor bike racks, and as part of their senator project, they would buy a bike rack and put them around campus. So if we need more bike racks, that is also an avenue as well. So I wanted to share that. because it is a good idea. That's something that I think students could benefit from. Okay, that's all I got.
We appreciate you, Advisor Neves. Okay, moving on to announcements. Give me the drum roll. Shelby Kip. Yay! You want to give a wave? We appreciate you, Senator of the Week. Okay, I wanted to hype up. Z gave you a virtual clap. Okay, homecoming. Hopefully by now y'all know it's homecoming this week. Come on now. I wanted to remind you all that the event schedule is available online tomorrow. There's this event called Midnight Breakfast, hoping y'all attend. No, I'm just kidding. There's a ton going on though. I really would recommend that you take a look at this if you haven't already. Yes. We'll talk about it in just a second. No, you're good. Okay, third thing on here, the SGA HPC yoga event. We're working on the details. We're going to do a yoga event in collaboration with the HPC, do a yoga class. We're thinking like sunrise or sunset. Very yoga photo op, you know. TBD. We're looking at when we can reserve the plaza is the question, because you know it's like once it's spring, everybody wants it. So and then the last thing is the election. It does open on Monday. Definitely vote, first of all, because we're the representatives. So I would hope that you would all vote. And the other thing is campaigning. Make sure that you follow the rules on that. We don't want any issues with anything. I'm eyeballing all of you individually. No issues. All right. And then next week, you'll see it says no student voice reports. That's because I don't want to hear any of you talk. No, I'm just kidding. The president and some members of cabinet will be coming to speak with us. That's going to be the only thing on the agenda. And so there will not be any of the usual stuff we do. It's just going to be them speaking with us, and we'll have opportunities to ask questions. So I would recommend that you kind of think on some things that you'd like to ask the president. And if you have a particular question or topic you'd like him to address, you'll send me an email or a text with your idea. I'm going to kind of send that over to him so he can get ready. If you know what I mean. Yes, Daniel. Professional dress. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. It's going to be the same dress code as for the meeting where city council attended. So no jeans, no t-shirts, definitely no holes in your pants, tank tops, sandals. Do your best. If you have any concerns about the dress code, let me know and I'll work with you. Justin. You cannot wear a miniskirt unless it's an appropriate length. So like midi at the least. Any other questions about that? So professional dress, normal meeting time. We won't have anything on the agenda except for that. So if you do have like a topic other than the president coming that you need to address with the Senate, send it in group me. Cool. All right. Just a reminder that after we adjourn, we do need to talk about midnight breakfast. And since it's just Z online that will be there, I will just talk to you via text if that works for you. Is that fine with you, Z? All right, great. All right, in that case, does anyone have any other announcements? I entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. All opposed, raise your hand or do a heart emoji. And any abstentions. All right. Thank you, online attendees. Those of you in the room, stay seated, please.